Hi, my name's Sean Shaler. That down there is my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter semi-fame or full fame, or I don't know what your gauge for that is. Today we are recording, we're always recording, that was a stupid thing to say. We're talking about The Legend of Korra, Book 2, Spirits. So there's already one typo in my PowerPoint. Chapter 13 overall. And this is called The Rebel Spirit. Off to a great start. Also, as soon as I hit record and started recording, I had to cough. And so I feel like I'm really coming out swinging today. So I'm going to ask Chris how he's doing so then I can mute my microphone and cough not on recording. That'd be excellent. Chris, what's up? How are you?
I am doing well, getting very much settled in. The man cave is pretty much done, besides just needing to be cleaned up because there's boxes everywhere. But the shelves are pretty much fully shelved, and I got all the gym equipment hooked up so I can just look at it and not use it, but feel like, oh yeah, tomorrow's gonna be the day. And then
awareness is the first step.
Up. Yeah, I bought a new Justice League Tapestry in the back there.
Oh, that is sick.
It's pretty big, which I'm not sure I want to keep it there or not. Because
I don't know, it's kind of a nice spot for it, though.
Yeah, I might just put it back there. Okay. I don't know. I don't know yet.
Are all your posters up? You might have to reprioritize every poster and wall hanging thing that you own.
Nah, they're going to stay here because they're very nice, like almost like the movie theater. You know, you go to the movie theater back in the days where they're just all along a wall there.
The last time I've been to a movie, I was with you.
Holy crap, Sean.
It's been a long time. Oh, wait. You know what? No, I'm lying. I went to the terrible second Harry Potter Fantastic Beasts one.
Yeah.
I went to that one with my wife, so that was probably more recent. No, I agree. I like your movie setup. And then your movie poster it does feel that way. And then are your shelves curved behind you? Because I feel like that looks really good.
There are 4 different shelves, which I bought, just each one was bought for expansion purposes. And so I just put this one at an angle compared to the other one so it can wrap all the way to the bat mantle.
The bat mantle. The fact that it curves, or I already forget the word you used, it sounded better than what I said. It makes it feel like you can fit more of them into the screen, so that's kind of cool. Like,
yeah, maybe it's just the shooting. I don't know, but it does seem like I can show more in the screen for some reason, which usually
I think you're farther forward, and because it's at a bit of an angle, so both of those things, it feels like you get more. I like it though. It's a really it makes it feel really full and solid back there. I dig it. What about the rest of the house? The other rooms that
I'm pretty sure. I think my wife came down here probably like a couple of weeks, maybe like a week ago, and she probably saw how much progress I was making, and I could just see the things churning in her head of like, nothing's really, we're not even done upstairs, like nothing's packed away.
Your kids are still in the other house.
Oh crap! Fuck!
What was that?
I don't curse that often, but a spider just came. You see that spider there?
Oh hell no! Get that out of here.
What the?
2 things. First of all, that's the first time I've ever heard Chris say the F word. Maybe ever. There's no way I'm cutting this out. This is staying in there.
Die.
And that's how Batman really feels about Spider-Man. I've never heard you cuss. I've never heard you say the F word other than, I want to say, quoting a movie.
Yeah, quoting stuff is fair game because you're quoting stuff. But no, I usually don't.
But much less live. Wow, that was hey, if you gotta. But I also have a spider phobia, so I'm right there with you. It's horrifying that my special space is in the basement.
I was just like, what is this thing? And then like, holy crap.
That's pretty good size. I could see it on camera. Hey, if you
I'll have to rewatch
it. I didn't see it at first, but I think when you're watching and you look for it dropping in the screen, I feel like you'll be able to see it right away, which is not a good thing to see on camera. If you watch this, rate Chris's reaction on a scale of 10. Rate it. Let us know your thoughts.
I don't curse often. It's just not in my just not in my vocabulary. Times I curse is apparently when spiders are about to attack me and take my life. And when I miss an open layup in basketball, I usually say the SHIT word when I miss a layup.
I try to sacrifice like once a year when New Year's comes around. I try to sacrifice worse cuss words or what I consider worse words for better words. I try to gradually move my vocabulary toward the more polite and grown up. It's not working. He's over there exacting vengeance on us by making sure it's dead.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I got it.
It was kind of a light colored spider. It was very.
Was there something different with light colored spiders? It was like yellow.
It was. I don't know that I've ever seen like a sizable yellow spider, but maybe it was just really close to the camera, so it looked big. But it looked. I don't know. I feel like I can't say I've ever seen a big yellow spider before.
I mean, it wasn't that big. It was probably like a.
I think it was close to the camera perspective wise. I think it looked surprisingly large in the camera. I don't know. Watch it later and see if it's more horrifying on camera than it was in person. I thought first somebody is like throwing, like your kid's throwing something at you from the stairs. I was like, he wouldn't say the F word in front of his kids.
No, not. They don't. I don't think they know that curse words exist besides the ones that we've watched in movies. And I take a time out to be like, hey, this word, don't say it. Like in Shazam. You ever seen Shazam?
Yep. On your Vudu, actually.
Yeah. I used to watch My Hero Academia, Heroes Rising. It's on there too.
Oh, nice.
In Watchmen, but also Watchmen's on HBO Go. Anyway.
I finished Watchmen on HBO Go.
You did?
Your HBO Go.
Yeah. I was going to say. What was I talking about? Oh.
Yeah. No, Watchmen is great.
We're watching Shazam, and in Shazam, his dad, the dad of the villain, when he like tells him about like magic, whatever, he almost gets in an accident. And he says, "You little shit," and that's to my daughter. That's a bad word. We don't say that word. And she's been watching Dragon Ball Super lately. And I'd be like, sometimes they don't go that far, but they say stuff like bastard and damn every now and then. And so I make sure she knows that those words aren't good words.
My grandparents / now parents own this bar that's on my sweater and all the paraphernalia. Apparently all the clothes I wear ever are from that bar. And so when I'd come home from there and grandma and grandpa babysitting, and mom would be like, listen, you know that you can't repeat things that anybody says in there ever, right? I was like, yeah, I get it. Because I really liked going to grandma's, so I didn't want to do anything that would mean I didn't get to go hang out with grandma because she gave me Dr. Pepper and other reasons. Love you, grandma, but also the Dr. Pepper. Anyway, aside from horrifying spider attacks and underage bar attendants, today we're going to talk about Rebel Spirit. We are in Book 2 of Korra, Legend of Korra. We just got done with what I think we would both consider a thrilling pilot season with Book 1. Book 2, maybe a different ride. And
no one usually uses that term, pilot season.
I don't know. I didn't know what to call it. I kind of panicked when I was talking. What do I call it? First season, yeah.
Freshman season?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Regardless, the original season of The Legend of Korra that was good the whole way through, per our scientifically verified ratings, and ended absolutely excellent fashion. And I think Book 2, if memory and the internet tells me, if those are to be believed, might be a different kind of a ride. But first episode here today. I don't know if you are ready. Let's go through it.
All right. Real quick, little piece of Avatar news. Not big Avatar news.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have asked you for news.
No, it's fine. I didn't. Anyway, Zuko's getting his own statue from Diamond Select. That news comes from Airspeed Prime. They have their own YouTube channel. I say they. It's only one person. His name is Morgan. And he has his own podcast. He just broke that news today. The statue looks pretty cool. I'm gonna get the guitar statue, and I kind of want to get the Aang statue that's already been out, but I gotta go to this very specific vintage stock. I think in Olathe somewhere. I saw they had it.
Do you want me to go get it for you? I literally,
Uh,
I live here.
Actually, I gotta remember exactly which vintage stock it is. I gotta look in my past Google, um, Google, because Google tracks everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's
so
horrifying.
You can go look up like where was I at on this day and see exactly where you went.
It's terrifying, but no, just holler, go grab it. I'm always looking for an excuse to go, and I think I don't think there's one in Olathe proper, but there's like 3 within 10 minutes of me. I'm assuming it's.
It might not be Olathe. I think it's Kansas City.
Yeah.
More so, it might be KC Mo actually.
Okay. Well, doesn't matter. Just holler.
Okay. All right. I'll look into it. But yeah, that was it. Zuko's getting a statue.
Did you also say he had bad news, or am I just assuming that every time there's good news because it's 2020 or 2021 that there also has to be bad news associated?
2021.
I do. Okay, I do miss using hashtag 2020, and I still use it sometimes as a joke, like a fully aware of it. But people be like, "Sean, it's 2021." But I know. It's a catchy. 2021 isn't as catchy. It's fine. I'll get over it. Whatever. Rebel Spirit.
Oh, all right. Rebel Spirit. So start off. I think we first start off with Dark Spirit attacking some ship, and that's just kind of ominous thing to kind of set up the threats, or the supposed threat for the season. So that's it.
And it threw me off. I did not remember that part at all.
It's funny because I kind of didn't remember it either, because usually when I watch season 2, because I tend to watch Legend of Korra with my daughter, and she goes in a weird, stupid way. I won't say stupid because it's her own special way of watching season 2, which is her favorite book.
She must know something.
She starts off with Beginnings Part 1, then goes to Beginnings Part 2, which is to my annoyance on a different disc, and then Beginnings Part 1.
You have Netflix, right? Just make her click through it on Netflix.
Yeah, but we used to watch though, like all the time.
Okay.
On Blu-ray.
I'm astounded that she has a way to watch like Star Wars deep fandom where they have certain orders that you have to watch things.
Yeah.
I can't bear to watch anything out of the order in which it was released, and only that order ever. It's the only way in my mind. I can't change. So I'm astounded by her creativity.
She then finishes off book 2, then goes back and watches like some parts of disc 1 of book 2, and then she goes to book 3, and then book 4, and then book 1.
I don't know why she's doing it, but I'd love to know. Just pick her brain.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much just her favorite season is her favorite episode is Beginnings Part 1 and 2. So that's where she starts.
That's really surprising, but that's awesome. It's kind of like not remembering that was there is not remembering. I just watched Deadpool 2 today, and I forgot. It's like the 3rd time I've seen it. I really love it. 1 and 2. I love Deadpool. But I forgot that there was all the post-credit stuff. I don't know why I forgot. It's just the Marvel thing. But I think it's so much more like what do I want to say? Are you looking for more spiders?
Yeah, I'm going to occasionally look up and look down.
Well, it's probably got a family, Chris, and you just killed it, so now they're out for vengeance. I think you need to burn your house down. It's the only way.
Worth it.
I think that the stuff at the end of Deadpool 2 is so much more surprising and shocking than any other Marvel movie because it's Deadpool, and it throws me for a loop every time. All 3. It's like 3
speaking of
times. Killing
innocents, do you watch Attack on Titan?
No, should I? I'm looking for a new show literally as we speak, and I couldn't remember which one you said was like the best anime on Netflix right now, and I couldn't remember what it was. Death Note?
You should watch Death Note also. Interesting enough, the same person who made Death Note made Attack on Titan.
Okay. Well, football season is almost over, and I'm caught up on everything else, so it's time.
I would go ahead and do Death Note, but you only have to do to a certain point, and you're gonna know that point when you get to it.
I'm
Or at
very
least, or I can.
oblivious. If I come back to you and I ask, is this the point? Please don't make fun of me.
It's. I think it's probably like episode like 26 or something like that. But Death
Okay.
Note's great. Jamie loves Death Note. I really love. Like, it's great. Well, part of it is really really amazing. Like great stuff.
I
But
they've frequently mentioned it on like two separate podcasts I listen to, so I've been thinking it over. I just couldn't remember if that's the one where I think you straight up said it's the best or best non-Avatar maybe anime on Netflix or something a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it's almost time where I'm caught up and football's over, so it's essentially my TV season, so to speak.
yeah, I would go watch Death Note first because it's probably a quicker watch and you can get it over with. And then Attack on Titan. The thing is, Attack on Titan is hard to follow. Sometimes hard to follow. First season, it's pretty simple. It's like the premise of Attack on Titan is that there's like an island of people. There's a wall surrounding them, and they're stuck in the wall. There's these things called Titans. They live outside the wall. They're like size of house. They range from the size of a house to the size of a skyscraper.
Are they monsters or mechanical things or like elementals?
Monsters. Sorry. They're like human monsters with no genitals or anything. They're just naked and
Okay.
they eat people.
Strange, but all right.
And some of them are really weird. And so they attack. One day, they attack the wall. They break the wall, and then it's kind of all about survival. That part of the story is kind of like
That
The
sounds
Walking
like straight
Dead.
out of a video game almost.
Yeah, that part's kind of like The Walking Dead, but then the story changes. It's way different, and like now, I'm really excited for this. We're in the final season now, even though the manga's not over yet. They're trying to do the manga at the same time as doing the anime, which is crazy. But
That's
the-
like some Game of Thrones dangerous
this,
stuff right there.
yeah. This last episode, it just made you think about like when are you okay with killing innocent people? Like, because war does that. Like, war brings that out in you. Like, well, if I wasn't gonna kill them, they're gonna kill me. Like when. Not saying when is it okay. Just it's not okay, but when is it, I don't know, permissible? I
When
guess.
does your
When do you
line
feel like you
turn
have?
from you not being violent to being violent or reacting with
Yeah.
violence or
When do you become the thing that you hated most? It's so good. It's Attack on Titan will probably go down as the greatest story in an anime ever because it's so nuanced and yeah, it's really good.
Now I'm just worried that I'm going to have to feel feelings, but I suppose it's time to grow up someday.
I don't really feel feelings in it.
Like watching
I've-
Scrubs with my wife, and one second I'm laughing really hard, and the next second I have to experience emotions, and I'm like, damn, why do I do this to myself? Season 5 of Scrubs right now, by the way.
Oh, have you gotten to the episode My Lunch? Where
It doesn't sound familiar.
have you gotten to the episode where 3 patients need transplants?
No, you've warned me about that one. We haven't hit that one yet.
Okay.
We just got done with the one where Sam the scammer gets Jordan, and they all just kind of let it happen as a rite of passage. I think is that season 5 or 6? I might be getting them mixed up. That's 5, I think.
You should definitely listen to at least one episode of the podcast of him and of Zach Braff and Donald Faison. Every episode, I am just cracking up laughing.
I burn through podcasts like crazy at work, so that's another one that's kind of been on my back, like it's in my Spotify feed.
If you even watch a couple episodes of Scrubs, each episode they review one episode or they talk about it, which is really interesting because you just get an inside look into the show.
Sounds very similar to what we do, except for that we're not voice actors or comedians.
But it's kind of similar. Those two are like legit like best friends. Like, it's not just the show. It's like they miss each other.
I loved getting to tell Heather that, and she, because they just did the episode where they were the fake Siamese thing, where they're in the same sweater, and Heather said something. I was like, oh, I think they're actually like best friends, like to this day in real life. And so it was fun to share that trivia with Heather.
Yeah, like they often joke about for some reason having a 3-way with Donald Faison's wife. No, it's just They're that close. We will never be that close, Sean.
It's that right. That's too close for me. But you know what? If it was for a convention or something, I would wear a sweater with you. I would do that. That would be okay with me. Or like a 2-part costume. If it was really important to you, I would do that for you. But I probably won't talk about like threesomes and stuff now. That's too far.
But no, it's every episode is honestly hilarious and really interesting.
I've got more podcasts to catch up on, but I also go through it. I literally working from home. I have podcasts on 5 hours a day. It just all video game stuff. It's probably time to branch out. So, I think we had just gotten to the part where the ship was attacked before the episode started.
Yeah. Okay. One thing actually about Korra, since we went on our tangent of the day, or for now, did you notice anything different with? I don't want to lead the witness in this. Maybe we'll wait until we get into ratings. Well, I'll wait until we get ratings. Anyway, okay. So yes, it's the Glacier Spirits Festival, which is a water tribe tradition. Oh, before this, Korra, real quick. She was on Airtable Island, and she was racing Titson's kids, which I find adorable, and I love that relationship between. She has this very big sister relationship between her and the kids. And she goes in the Avatar state to win that airbending race, which I am a firm believer in the headcanon that was Aang just wanting to play with his grandkids.
That's
triggering the Avatar state.
That's the cutest headcanon I've ever heard.
Yeah. And then so then they have to go to the North Pole. Korra and Tenzin get in, kind of go at each other a little bit because Korra is misusing the Avatar state, and Tenzin doesn't like that. She's like, "Well, I'm the Avatar. I'm the one that appreciates it the most," and she feels like she doesn't need to do any more airbending training, and Korra is annoying. These episodes.
This is probably folks' not favorite Korra, I can imagine.
Yeah. But anyway, so they go to the and Boomy's there. We get to see Boomy again for the first. He has lines for the first time. It has been 6 months since they defeated Amon, and so Boomy has gained a lot of weight in that 6 months, which is very possible. I mean. You stop working out, and you just.
I've seen what 9 months inside can do to a human. I believe anything.
So yeah, they go to the South Pole, and one other thing, I do like Mako being a cop, and that chase scene that he had with the motorcycle and the fire and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
It was very like cartoon action movie equivalent. It was very nicely done.
Yeah, yeah. And they kind of just do the thing where, like, all right, let's see where everybody's at right now. So Bolin so they get to the South Pole. I think at this point, so Bolin and Asami goes and meet with Varric. Asami needs to meet with Varric so she can get like money to buy more airplanes and sell them because her business is tanking because no one wants to do business with terrorists.
Good policy, generally speaking.
Yeah. Depends on who you are, I guess. And
if it's us, it's a good policy. Humans with hearts.
This is our first, introduction to Varric, and
he
is but I think this is actually a fairly toned down Varric, which says a lot.
I'll have to withhold judgment till we see more, but I love our intro. I always liked him, and I love this introduction to him. Absolutely.
Yeah, he just he has his eyes closed, and as if he's levitating, and then everyone is like, "You see that? I levitated," and everyone's like, "Yeah, you levitated," which is just like having yes men around you. They'll tell you whatever you want to hear, and then Bolin says, "You're just sitting on the floor." It's like, what? That's embarrassing.
You're just sitting on a pillow.
Yeah, sitting on the pillow.
Swami, you're fired.
Yeah.
Gives him a dirty look and then backs away, but still on his knees.
Yeah.
They do,
then,
I guess, in short, is what they do a really good job of wrapping up like a caricature of a crazy business person in about a minute or, a minute and a half. Really nice job of giving us a lot of what he is.
Yeah. And he agrees to do a deal with Asami, and Asami gets Bolin a hug, which at this point, I thought they were going down a different road with Asami and Bolin just because that one little hug. I thought they were going to try and develop a relationship there, which I'm glad they didn't, because I don't think I would like that relationship between Bolin and
That's
Asami.
not a good fit. That's a sink it for me.
Yeah, well...
It's almost time for another one of those episodes.
Yeah, we'll probably have to wait until we get through the whole season to do it, to refresh you on everything.
I think so.
But I look forward to it, nonetheless.
That was maybe one of the most fun episodes to record. I think that was tremendous.
Yeah. Let's see, what else is happening?
Unalaq is making his case to Korra, and there's some back and forth, but Unalaq's making his case to Korra about how the South Pole is stupid and unholy heathens and idiots eating whole chickens off of sticks.
Yeah, he's really talking down the South, how they've just been disconnected and everything, which is not, I don't know, necessarily their fault. It is interesting, in between the comics, they kind of talk about how the South Pole finally got bigger and stuff like that, got more kind of industrialized. So that's kind of interesting there. I only read that comic one time. It was an okay comic. It's just kind of more of the same. I never cared to go back and read it.
Got what you needed one time, and that's enough. I
mean, it probably I didn't care to go back
by any stretch. It just...
Well, it was called North versus South, and so it involved disputes between the Northern and Water tribes. So maybe it just seemed a little repetitive from this season. So
yeah, but it falls. Where would it fall in the timeline? After this season, or?
Oh no, it's
Avatar.
It's between Avatar.
It's
Legend
not a Korra comic. Okay, it's
yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Which is weird to say that I feel like it was repetitive when technically canonically it happens before this, but still.
Insightful. It just because you only read it once, that doesn't mean it's bad. Just
yeah. No, I don't think it was bad. Just didn't have to read it again. So then Korra and Tenzin kind of continues to have these little fights. Unalaq, you can see him kind of chipping away at those not necessarily those relationships, those mentor relationships, because Unalaq is clearly very spiritual and a dark spirit attacks the festival, and Korra can't deal with it, but Unalaq can. There is one point that Unalaq says, like, the Avatar is supposed to travel the world, like it was your father and the White Lotus who decided to keep you locked up in the Southern Water Tribe, which then makes Korra more mad, which I understand why Korra would be mad on that. I wish they had put more emphasis on that's why she's mad at them. That, to me, would have made this way better, because you had Korra mad before she even learned that they kept her locked up against even Aang's wishes, against what the Avatar is actually supposed to do. And so if you had her mad for that reason, like, oh, my dad and Tenzin, you guys thought you could run my life, and this is why I've been locked up here, why I haven't had friends, why I haven't been able to venture out, that would have been great. And also that's part of Korra's story is that she's been locked up. She hasn't...
It's such a good teenage angsty thing too. Like, it just fits that whole mold of your parents not I don't know how to say it nicely, but like feeling like you're sheltered or being held back by your parents as a teenager. It just kind of fits a nice trope that's very relatable.
Yeah. But no, she was already mad to begin with, so that makes her mad, her being angry and annoying. It makes it, storytelling wise, it makes it not as appealing. And for anyone who, I think I forgot who commented before about like maybe me or you giving Korra a pass for some things. I don't really give her a pass for this stuff because I think some of it can be solved with better writing, and I think they kind of put Korra in a bad predicament wise. And it doesn't necessarily go against her character, but it goes against her character growth in these relationships, right? Like we've seen her and Tenzin go through so much together, and Tenzin even says that, especially in that previous season in book one, like they grown so much together, and for her to not to trust him fully feels like a character relationship regression, and that feels like it betrays the character in a way.
And it's, even if it does kind of get there, I mean, it's still a small sample, and it's not that it's totally unrelatable or anything like that. Teenagers are weird.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Again,
teenagers.
I would have understood more if they just kept on, if they put more emphasis on the lie that they told her that it was Aang's wishes for her to be in the South Pole.
If she had not been as mad leading up to it, like maybe everything was cool up to that point, and it, like a bigger shock almost, might have been very engaging.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you put on top of that, eventually she finds out that her father was banished from the Northern Water Tribe, that he fought some spirits and demolishes like spiritual forest in the North Pole. Now, he was actually supposed to be the king, which is interesting. That would have been a kind of another push for Korra to get some new type of council.
It could have been a really big climax of this episode if it had worked out more that way, but oh well. It's still relatable just in the fact that it's kind of, I don't want to keep blaming teenagers, but just, hey, I was a teenager once, I remember. It's just, it fits that mold well enough to be relatable.
Yeah. I don't mind it. Nah, it still bothers me.
It's not great. It's not peak Korra.
And the thing is, I love Korra. Like Korra might be my second favorite fictional character. Maybe third. Yeah, maybe third.
Who is second?
I don't know where Static is.
Okay.
Static is usually. I just like being Static. I don't have as much. I don't watch Static as much as I watch Korra. So Korra might be second.
Well, and Batman's real. He just hasn't been realized yet. It just hasn't happened, but he's real. It's waiting, Chris. Just make more money and get good.
Yeah, I guess. Batman, of course, is first. Batman is like a deep first, which is why there's a whole freaking.
He's got a mantle.
Yeah, he has a mantle.
I want to say that Harry Potter's my favorite fictional characters, but we just watched through those movies like over the past 4 or 5 weeks. We watched them all again, and it's not just because it's the movies. I know book purists out there. I still love it, and it's still my favorite, but there's more and more things that piss me off all the time about the books and or the movies as I go. I still love them.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, you can like things even if they.
The thing is, I feel like you tend to. The thing is, I feel like you tend to nitpick or harp on things the more you love them, right? Like we expect more out of things we love. Like when I first watched this season of Legend of Korra that we're reviewing, Korra's annoyance in these first couple episodes didn't bother me at all. Really, I'm just like, whatever, it's a teenage girl. It's within Korra's character to be a little hot-headed sometimes. But like after rewatching Legend of Korra for whatever, how many times I've rewatched it, like I've so much fallen in love with that character more and more that she has become like my second favorite fictional character. And so I get on to her more when I feel like she's annoying or she betrays or something she does betrays the character.
It's like being harder on yourself than other people, or on
Yeah.
having higher expectations for family, or
Yeah.
also even in Harry Potter's case, sometimes knowing like what you like and what are good aren't necessarily the same thing, and not because Harry Potter's bad, but elements of it that I like that aren't
Yeah. Yeah.
good story elements or thoroughly written or anything like that.
Yeah.
Happens more with video games in a nostalgic way. Like all these games, oh, I used to love that game. I play it and it's the stupidest piece of crap in the world. Still love it. Still love it. But I don't remember what
And
we were
then we
talking about.
get to
Oh,
let's see.
essentially the final straw after Unalaq. I don't know what he bends the spirits or controls them. He
It's
handles it.
it's technically called spirit bending, but that's different from spirit energy bending. That's different from energy bending.
There's a Venn diagram somewhere that shows this. Uh, but that, and then the following discussion sort of becomes the final straw for Korra and Tenzin.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mention we got introduction to Kaya, um, which which is Tenzin's sister,
Oh
and
yeah,
I do love this family dynamic between them, even though and we'll get into it later on in the season when they talk about Aang as a dad, but this dynamic seems real to me of siblings getting on to each other about little stuff. And then you have Katara watching from afar, just looking at her kids with like not like a proud look, but like I
same old
wish.
shit.
Yeah. Just, it's kind of look of like, I wish we could have more time together, kind of look more of a regretful look of like, you guys should really enjoy this time you have with each other.
it's
Um,
a, I
I
think
imagine it's the
that
look that my mom gives when we're all actually in the same place.
I think
And
that it's a little maybe a little too heavy-handed, but I think that just happens because they're also sidekick. Like they don't have a lot of screen time. Got to pack a lot into a little, so you got to use your imagination a little bit. But
yeah,
I forget her name. Kaya, is that right?
yes.
I do like her. I do instantly like her and Boomy and what they bring, like right off the bat.
Mm.
You can immediately tell kind of the characters they're going to be, and they get into it right away. So, like it's a little heavy-handed, but I'm going to forgive it just because of the amount of screen time. They're not main characters.
Yeah. But I feel like that's kind of the episode. I don't think I've. It's probably easy to wrap up this episode because it all happens. All the characters are kind of in the same place. It's not like dual stories going on that sometimes happens.
Even Bolin and Asami just end up down at the festival with everybody else. So even where there was kind of a separate line, they all end up down
Yeah.
there and witness the horror.
We also meet Eska and Desna, which is Korra's cousins.
I can't think
And
of the
like,
actress's name. I just keep wanting to call her April Ludgate, but I love her and everything. What is her name?
I do too. Why can't? Oh my gosh! Oh my
It
gosh,
starts
Sean!
with
Why
an
can't I think of
A.
her name?
It even starts with an A. I think I
Why
could
can't
be
I
wrong.
think of her name?
It's not April Ludgate. It's
I had it for a minute there. Dang it, John! Why can't I think of people's names lately?
gotta figure it out. Hold on.
I just want to say April now because you say it.
It is. Well, that's how I knew her first.
She is great in Legion, which is the X-Men
I don't.
show.
I don't care if she plays the same character and everything. When your character is that good and that funny, you're allowed to do that. Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza.
So it does
yes.
start with that. I remembered something. Scott Pilgrim. I liked Scott Pilgrim when it came out, and then I probably went like 8 years without watching it ever. And then I watched it again the other day, and I was, oh, that's April Ludgate, not Aubrey Plaza, because I couldn't remember then either. It's very exciting.
Yeah, they got some good talent for this.
They did.
Oh, And Bolin's like, oh, who's the
Pretty
he
ladies.
said something like, who's the pretty ladies? And Korra's like, that's Eska and Desna, and Desna's a boy. Oh, yep, oh, yeah, I
I
knew
knew
that.
that.
I knew that. And he's like, which one's Desna? Or which one's Eska? Wait, which?
What? No, he says which one's Desna. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of them, like Eska, is wearing makeup.
Yeah. That's how you tell them. She's wearing makeup and has like little ponytail things in her hair.
I don't think it's this episode. I think it's one or two down. But I think one of my favorite line deliveries that I've seen so far in Korra is, "I love it when you grovel."
Yeah, it's later.
I think that's one or two down.
Yeah. And then and like when Bolin comes on to her, she's like, yes, I will make you mine. And Bolin's like, do you mean like a boyfriend or like a slave? Yes. Come win me prizes. And it's fun.
I forgot
Also
about that.
Also to know, Mako and Korra are having they're arguing, and Korra's being honestly this might be reasonable because I don't want to sound.
Mako's quick to take sides, so I don't know that he's wrong or right, but he's very quick, I guess.
Well, to me, Mako is trying his hardest, and sometimes you don't give the right answer to women that they're wanting. Sometimes they don't want to answer. Sometimes they just want you to listen.
He even calls that out at one point. Is that this episode or the next? Where he's like, "Is this one of those times where you want me to give advice or just to listen?"
Yeah. So I don't blame Mako and I don't blame Korra. It's just happening. They just don't. Yeah.
I just quote Deadpool 2 here, but his heart was in the right place.
Yeah. And that's I think that's pretty much the episode.
I think so. Little anticlimactic, or ends with some drama, but
all right. Audio visual 6.5. Yeah. There wasn't anything special here, and the animation isn't as good as it usually is. So I'll just leave it at that for now. Story 7.5. Why did I give the story 7.5? Oh, I think mostly because of the dynamic between Tenzin and his siblings. I really like that. And that might be the biggest part. Memorable 7.5, mostly because just the new introduction of characters. Really honest, I could probably get this a little higher, maybe an 8. We got introduced to some great characters of Varric. We got Tonraq, more of that. Really more of him, because last time he didn't really have many lines. The first time we see him in episode 1.
I cannot ever remember his name. It's Tonraq, like Tanrak.
Tonraq.
Q. It is a Q family, isn't it? I can never remember. He's Korra's dad.
Yeah. He is voiced by, I forget his name.
It's a glorious, deep voice.
Oh yeah, it's Mortal Kombat, right? The guy who's Raiden.
I don't know the actor, but that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Or if I did, I've long since forgot. It's probably one of those things you've told me like 10 times, and I don't.
He does. He has a great voice for this. I don't know who voices
beautiful.
Unalaq. I haven't really looked into it for some reason.
Well, when you compare him to Tonraq, why would you?
Exactly. One thing we haven't really talked about is that this is a lot like their sibling dynamic is a lot like Mufasa and Scar, where Scar is the more cunning one, and Mufasa is the stronger, bolder one.
And in a weird way, though, Scar does kind of carry, holier than thou is not the right phrase I'm looking for, but that kind of vibe that he's given off.
Yeah.
Entitled, maybe.
Yeah. So 7.2 out of 10.
My audio visual, I was a little higher. I felt like the animation was choppier, so I'm glad you mentioned it. I don't notice that stuff as well, or I can't pinpoint what it is. it did feel choppier. But I do like I like the boat scene. I like seeing Mako's scene. So I actually thought about going a little higher even,
Oh yeah, that was
because
good
I like
animation there.
those. In just the scene and styling, and then also the spirits. I like we kind of a longer take on a couple of spirits than we've really gotten in a lot of
Yeah.
things. So I actually thought about going higher, but I get what you're saying about the animation. Couldn't put my finger on it, but it was maybe
Okay,
cheaper.
so the animation, I don't know why they went with a different studio, but they went with a different studio. Studio Mir tends to do the animation for Avatar, and but they went with this studio called Parrot, I think, Parrot, something like that. And you can tell the difference in animation. Like there's a scene in episode one of book one where Korra's riding on Naga, and if you watch this scene compared to there's a scene coming up in season two where Korra's riding on Naga, pretty much is that same scene, but it looks so much worse. And which you side by side you see it, and if you watch Legend of Korra over and over and over again, you notice it, and it's kind of glaring. Which it's still good animation, just not to me as good. Like it's different. Like the
I don't
lines,
think it's as smooth in maybe frame rate and lines
yeah,
feeling as natural looking.
and the light is it's a little brighter. It's like someone turned up the contrast and turned up the color a little bit, so it looks more cartoonish. While I feel like the other studio, like things just kind of blend in together. While it kind of feels more,
Natural. It feels
yeah,
more
natural.
organic, like something like I know I'm still looking at a cartoon, but it feels more cohesive, kind of.
Yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned it because I don't really trust my eye for those details and things like that. But it was irking me the whole time. I never would have thought to compare it to the previous season just to be like, hey, what happened? But
for some reason I don't know if it was a budget thing, but season one animation, I think it's better than season. And they go back to Studio Mir. Pretty much half the episodes of season two is Studio Mir, and then the rest of book three and book four is Studio Mir. And Studio Mir did book one, but I think for some reason maybe they just had time or something. But it's slightly book one is slightly better than season three and four. I think like the background. I think a lot of the backgrounds look a lot better, but that's marginal.
yeah, well, and even here it wasn't a huge bother. And as I mentioned, I still like the scenes that were put out there and the general overall style. I like being back in the South Pole and in this festival and stuff. So animation, I guess fair to say, noticeably lesser here than we're used
Yeah.
to, but not a huge knock on anything else audiovisual. Thought
I
about getting
uh,
a
I
little higher.
did I did get a chance to interview the director of the Nets episode,
Ooh,
Ian Graham. I'm
nice.
kidding. It wasn't an interview. I just asked some
Oh, you
questions on
had me going. I'm
Twitter.
very gullible.
uh, because it's funny. Like right when I got done watching the episode, I got on Twitter, and then he was like, "Oh, here's um, some storyboards I did for Korra when I directed this episode." And he didn't say the episode name, like, and I tweeted, "Oh, I literally just put this down. This is the Southern Lights. At least I think it is." And then I asked, like, "Oh, how was it working with the two different studios between Studio Mir and Parrot?" And he says it was great working with both of them, which that might have just been the safe answer.
Political, yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard Bryan and Mike be like, "This was a nightmare," because they were gonna go with Studio Perot whatever for it all, and then they're like, "No, we gotta go back to Studio Mirror." So I don't know what that difference was. I was kind of hoping I would get a little more information out of that, but hey,
I mean,
I bet if
just
John
given.
Carlo Volpe was directing episodes, he'll give me a more truthful answer. But he,
Just
he,
kidding,
he didn't work
Giancarlo.
on, yeah, he didn't work on Legend of Korra at all. But
Please answer our tweets. Thank you, Giancarlo.
yeah,
Uh, Story 7.5. It was fine. The best part I thought was the sort of. It was a nice first episode of a season in how it introduced. I know it's something that's not uncommon, but they did a nice job of showing where everybody's at. Liked meeting Tenzin siblings. That was neat. nothing too revealing going on. It was fine. And then memorable, I was kind of at the same spot where I couldn't really separate. Like, it was interesting, but I don't ever, like, think about this episode as being really good or really bad or anything. So it's fine.
Yeah.
7.7 overall. That brought us to a 7.4 overall. So, it's not bad at all. Grand scheme of things, it doesn't stand out. And you almost... Is it fair to say you almost don't really need it? I mean, it does nice for an intro episode, but it's not like we took away a whole lot here. Most of that stuff that we learned that's important is next episode.
Yeah.
So, no hard feelings first episode. You were fine. That's all I got to say. If you watch season 2, you'll watch it, and that's it. Nice characters. Nice intro to seeing the other characters, what they're doing. See the spirits become the antagonist or seem like the antagonist at first. And
I do want to say this. I do understand Korra dumping Tenzin. Like, she made the right choice. She just could have went about it a better way. Because clearly he is the right choice to go with, because has fight dark spirits. Tenzin has no idea what to do. Yeah. But
I agree.
Anyway.
I have no issues or no fault. I can remember, it's hard to separate it now, but I can remember big picture watching through this the first time. So my vision of certain people is ruined. And so as I'm watching him this time, I was like, that guy's a douchebag, even if it makes total sense, but I know he's a douchebag. But in general, I was able to kind of recall the first time watching through and be like, I genuinely kind of believed in this person, but I won't spoil it. I don't know why I'm not spoiling it, but we'll save it for when it happens. So, either way, that's all I got on this episode. Not my favorite kickoff. Well, you know what? Actually, technically, it is the worst first episode we have reviewed thus far, scientifically. Per the ratings.
It probably is. I'm sure it is.
I'm very confident. Most first episodes are far more engaging. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let us know what you guys think. And I will try to comment on more stuff. I feel like I haven't been lately for some reason.
We've been very lazy on social media. We promise it's just because of the holidays and such. We'll get
20
back into
days
some
after
kind of
the New Year's, 22 days.
I don't know about you, though, but I'm still in that mode.
I'm like, what the heck? It's the 20th of... What is the 22nd of January?
We're like 7% done with 2021.
Yeah, what the heck?
Sounds really dumb when you look at it that way, doesn't it? Chris been moving houses. I've just been super lazy. I have no excuses. But we'll be active again on social media someday.
Yeah. And
maybe
the channel.
Tomorrow.
So, yeah, be sure to comment below, guys.
I
read all the comments.
Rate Chris's use of the F-bomb, his first ever one on the show, and his reaction to Spider, 1 to 10. And thanks for watching this episode. If you happen to be watching live, we'll go right back to back with the other one. Otherwise, thank you very much. And be sure to come back next week for the Southern Lights. My name's Sean Shaler. That's Chris Ford down there, a.k.a. The Objective Geek, on YouTube and Twitter. This has been Avatar: The Last Podcaster's review of, Book 2 Spirits, not Book 1. I'll remember that at some point. And The Rebel Spirit, Episode 1. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.